Hi, church family. We're continuing our look at caring for ourselves and others. And as we do so, I'm going to say something that may sound a bit controversial, at least at first, so please bear with me. Jesus practiced self-care as well as care for others. Now, by that, I don't mean that he practiced self-care by our modern standards. There are no indications that Jesus did things like taking long baths or keeping a journal or going to the gym. None of which are bad things, by the way, and I may even do some or all of those things. But again, Jesus probably didn't. However, he did practice self-care his own way, which of course is God's way, and that is worth reflecting on. Now, there are a few places we can go in the Bible to see this, but Mark 6 is probably the best and most interesting. In that chapter, Jesus' disciples have just come back from a long, demanding ministry assignment, traveling all over the country. And when they get back, Jesus tells them in verse 31, "Come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest a while." Now that already brings in an element of self-care. He's telling his followers, hey, you guys should get some rest. You should even go away to an intentional place to make sure you get it. We should take note of that and think about it in terms of ourselves and our own needs. But then what happens next is even more interesting in this chapter. A crowd follows Jesus and his disciples. So instead of resting, Jesus gets pulled into ministry, into teaching and performing miracles, so that what is supposed to be a retreat for him and his friends turns into a long, hard day of work for him. Now, after the day is done, Jesus sends his disciples away in a boat. They have things to do and places to be tomorrow. But he stays behind. Why? Well, we're told in verse 46, and after he had taken leave of them, he went up the mountain to pray. Jesus sent his disciples away and stayed behind because he wanted some time to be alone, some time to talk to and connect with his Father. And that is self-care. That is giving himself what he needed most. That's intentionally restoring his own soul. There's a lot we can learn about self-care from Jesus and from this story. One of the lessons being that sometimes we need to rest. The disciples did, and so we will too. And another being that we may need to. I'm sure we need to rethink and broaden our understanding of self-care to include and incorporate God. Again, there is nothing wrong with taking a long bath or writing in a journal or going to the gym. But things like prayer, connecting with God, are even more essential and vital. But the main thing I want you to notice here is that Jesus is not some relentless taskmaster or tyrant. Not with others, not with his disciples, and not with himself. He cared for his disciples and he cared for himself. So as we consider self-care, please keep in mind, Jesus cares about you. He doesn't want to run you into the ground. So of course, he would like you to take care of yourself by doing things like resting and praying, things that he himself modeled for us.